If you watched the first season of Tulsa King, you of course know how it ended. It ended with Dwight Manfredi in jail after he in a way got lured into a web by Stacy. It also of course ends with Dwight and his crew winning this gang battle war with his local motorcycle gang. That was a much less tense finale than it had to be. And we really miss the leader now in the second season, as he was a brutal villain that really sorely will be missed. But of course, the season was pretty decent, and it featured one of Sylvester Stallone's best performances in a lifetime. That's really what characters show. If you talk about the other characters, perhaps only Goody and Chica are those that really give you something in the show after now this motorcycle leader is dead. The crew that Manfredi rose with is okay, but I guess it is something that tries to give you a more modern touch to the crime world rather than entirely a mafia world of old. He has a scenes with him and a tension between him and the other characters that drives the show, because the funniest scenes are really with him, and he carries the other characters with him. At the start of the first season, with all this fun and stuff with Dwight getting out of jail, all his jokes with the pronouns and the jokes with the new stuff he did not have information about in jail, such as smartphones, is an interesting touch. And the way he sort of forces these guys in a way, starts to do crime business with him, adds so much to the show. Now in the second season, you kind of miss the same recipe as you now try to create it with new characters such as Frank Grillo or the new guy that seems to be a mainstay in the new season called Tresher. I just see how that can be developed into a good story. Also, his brief time in jail in the first episode was kind of cool, when he puts that guy to show respect and told about what you need to do in order to survive in prison. But at the same time, that's also a very short section of the show so far. In a second season, now there's not much to reinvent, but the potential is perhaps there in the third season, and upwards when Chicky, after some doubt on his leadership, now is set to take on Manfredi and his territory in Tulsa to ice him. That coming gang war could make things interesting, as you perhaps missed Chicky as a character that could crash more with Manfredi in the first season, when that was mostly over the phone, and when his daughter was threatened a little bit. But at the same time, bringing the full war in Tulsa between Chicky and Manfredi could make things more interesting. Some weaknesses in the first season was kind of also the love story between Manfredi and Stacy, where it ended with her being almost forced into giving up Manfredi, which towards the end revealed that she was an ATF agent. With that now perhaps out of the window, we could make it less about romance and more about action. But at the same time, Margaret is now more in the picture, so it's hard to say so far where it would develop. Of course, we will still see mafia stuff, criminal dealings, busts, and how the crime underworld works. With the bosses doing this and that, that's something you already see here with the gathering with Chicky and the rest of his crew, the stealing of those things under the cars from Manfred's crew, from that kind of funny salesman, and also, of course, when you see the bad publicity of Manfredi or his slight tough talk with Tresher at the party and in person, where he sort of tried to make a deal with his other lawyer at his office. You know it will be a lot of mobster stuff in the story, but what they need to do in order to make it better when you already have been walking the way you are walking, with trying to make Manfredi into this big fish and also trying to make a turf war that could be good, but we don't really know. But so far, I'm not that enticed as I was at the start of the first season. But of course, also, there was a variation of quality in the episodes in the first season, and I expect the same here. But I did feel more real in the first season as opposed to what I do here now in the beginning of the second one. And I don't believe that is also the case from other people watching the show.